Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Cormandy from the YouTube channel My Airgun Reviews, and today we're going to do a new review on the Hatsan Carnivore 135 QE Vortex .25 caliber. For those of you that follow me, I did a review on this gun a month ago, and it was overall a very good review until we got to the accuracy test. At that time I only had 4 pellets, and the shot patterns looked more like they came from a shotgun than a pellet rifle. I just wrote it off as it did not like any of the 4 pellets I had. Since then, Hatsan sent me 4 tins of H&N pellets in 25 caliber, and I ordered 2 more tins from Field Supply, and did the more shooting, and the more I shot, the bigger the patterns got. So it was not the pellets, it was actually the rifles. So that one was packed up and shipped back to Pyramid Air, and this is the new one. And so I started putting this one through the paces, and at first the shot patterns were just as bad. They were big, but after about 115 shots they were starting to group a little bit better. Nowhere near what they needed to be, but we just kept on shooting and shot another 150 after that, and finally started getting some shot patterns that I could put on camera. So I've shot a total of maybe 320 rounds through this gun, and it is still breaking in. The more I shoot it, the tighter the groups get. So this one was a slow learner. It's taken a while to get the shot groups, but after 300 and some odd shots, it's finally something a guy can be proud of. So those of you that did not see the first review, let's take a close-up look at this gun. There's a look down the bore of this 25 caliber beast, and the silencer is in a steel shroud, steel shrouded barrel, and it does not come with the bipod. It has fiber optic front sights and fiber optic micro click adjustable rear sights. It's got a nice Turkish walnut stock, very nice stock, and sling mount right there and in the back. You can see very nice checkering, and I always end up with something on the stock. Yeah, it's got Hatsan's dual 11mm dovetail to Weaver Picatinny style scope mounts, so you can use either dovetail rings or Weaver Picatinny style rings. It does not come with a scope. You have to put your own scope on it, and here you can see the scope stop. There's the automatic safety. Hatsan's Quattro trigger, which is a very nice trigger. Checkering on the grip. Adjustable walnut cheek rest, ambidextrous for left and right handed shooters, and one heck of an animal for a butt pad. You got to kind of watch out when you're cocking this beast with it like that. And there you can see the adjustment. This butt pad slides up and down, so it's completely adjustable. It is a very beautiful gun, beautiful Turkish walnut, German steel, and I have used a center point 4-16 by 40 AO scope with the tag reticle and illuminated reticle. Okay, now this gun retails for $269 to $299. Just the bare gun weighs 9.9 pounds. You add a scope like this and you're looking at 11.5 pounds. It's a very heavy gun. overall length is 47.2 inches. The barrel itself is only 10.6 inches long. The rest of this is your silencer. They do not recommend grabbing the silencer to cock it. They want you to grab it here. That's a pretty difficult task. I have been grabbing it mostly up here, and then I will most of the time come around with my offhand and grab it right here and finish the cocking stroke to take the pressure off the silencer. So overall, the barrel is 17 inches long with the silencer, and this gun comes in at 54.5 pounds of cocking effort. I'm doing better. Most of the time I can cock it with one hand now, and you know, I still have the gimpy hand where I can't make the fist. But this gun is a beast. It's not only heavy, it still has a really wicked recoil, and this gun is not an army brat. It does not like the artillery hold. This gun is more like a insecure woman that wants to be held tightly with both hands. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. You gotta grip it, the grip area, you gotta pull tight back to your shoulder and forearm. You also have to grip tightly and pull back towards your shoulder. That is where you start getting good shot groups. If you try like shooting from the bench, if you're not holding it tightly up here and letting it just rest on the shooting rest, your shots are going to fly all over the place. This gun you have to grip tightly with both hands. Now this gun has very good power. The muzzle energy is pretty consistent with the first gun that we tried. I think the other one had just slightly more for the pellets we tried. Maybe 0.4 pounds of muzzle energy more. And it was very, very, very consistent with certain pellets. This one, the pellets are still consistent, but not quite as consistent, depending upon the pellet. The most consistent pellet and developing the most muzzle energy was the H&N Hornet 23.16 grain. It had a low of 429.2, a high of 751.4, and an average of 750.8 feet per second. That's an extreme spread of only 2.28 feet per second. Standard deviation was 1, and that gave us an average muzzle energy of 29 foot-pounds. That is very impressive. Another very, very consistent pellet, or fairly consistent pellet, was the JSB Exact King Mark II 33.95 grain. Had a 8.08 foot per second extreme spread with a standard deviation of 3.31. That gave us 26.96 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. We used that one and the H&N Barracuda and the H&N Hornet in our accuracy test. And the H&N Barracuda 31.02 grain pellet had a low of 628.2, a high of 642.1, average of 636.9, extreme spread was 13.93, standard deviation 5.56. That one gave us 27.95 foot-pounds muzzle energy on average. So that was very good muzzle energy. The most impressive, like I said, was the H&N Hornet at 29 foot-pounds muzzle energy. So here I'm going to put up the Crony numbers real quick, and you can take a look at that. Okay, now for the accuracy test. On the second pellet, which would be, I believe, the H&N Barracuda, the first shot was taken before the camera started, but 4 of the 5 pellets hit right in the same spot, and every pellet, it seemed like I had a pretty good group. but there was one pellet that flew outside the group, maybe an inch off. The H&N Hornets were a decent group. It was kind of vertical. But the H&N Barracuda, 4 pellets almost through one hole, and the same thing with the JSB Exact King Mark IIs. So let's take a look at this accuracy test. Okay. Overall, like I said, especially with the H&N Barracuda and the JSB Exact King Mark IIs, 4 pellets are all pretty tight together. Pretty much one hole and then one off a bit. Your hold affects this gun's accuracy greatly. This gun is not for the beginner in any way, shape, or form. It's an expensive gun. Averaging most places are $300 for it. It's a heavy gun. It is difficult to cock and even more difficult to hold. It will test your mettle when you're shooting this one. But if you get it right, this gun is very, very accurate. I think just about every time I had a flyer, it was my hold, not the gun. You get the hold right, you're going to put, at 20 yards, you're going to put 5 pellets through the same hole. It took about 320 shots to get to where it is, but it's, like I said, a very good gun, and it has very good downrange energy. I think at 20 yards, this gun still had 23.5 foot-pounds of muzzle energy at 20 yards. Or not muzzle energy, but pure energy at 20 yards. You've still got a lot more power than the average Magnum Springer has at point-blank range. You're not going to get 23.5 pounds out of a Benjamin NP2, or you're going to have to get up into the Benjamin NP XL series or the Boomer X Octane. You're going to have guns like that to even get that kind of energy at the muzzle, let alone 20 yards. So this gun can be a deadly killer for some pretty good sized varmints. I really like the gun now that I've got a good one that's working. I think the other one had a problem probably somewhere in the silencer, because the more I shot it, the farther the pellets flew. And we got this one, like I said, it started out kind of large patterns, but they kept shrinking. And as I learned the hold, to hold it tighter with my left hand up here, the shot patterns just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. As a matter of fact, when I was doing the downrange energy test with this thing, you got to be really steady, because you got to get the shots right over the chronograph. And I was basically putting every pellet through the same hole. So when you take your time and you hold this gun right, it's very, very accurate. And like I say, it's well worth the money. Beautiful gun, beautiful Turkish walnut, very nice elevated adjustable cheek rest, very good 2-stage quattro trigger. Your butt pad is adjustable, it'll come up and down. And just kind of beware these hard, sharp edges when you're cocking it. And it's a very enjoyable gun. I'm going to have to wait until spring before I do any long range shooting with it, because the weather has kind of gone south up here now. And as a matter of fact, we're expecting some snow tonight. So that is my review of the Hatsan Carnivore Quiet Energy. I should mention that this gun averaged about 92 decibels with the Quiet Energy, with the loudest pellet, 92 decibels. So it's a fairly backyard friendly gun. As a matter of fact, the sound effects coming off your backstop are going to make more noise than the gun does. So that's my review of the Hatsan QE135 Vortex 25 caliber. My name is Kenny Cormandy, and thank you for watching.